I am back again, y'all. I have come across a golden deal, especially living down here in South Kakalaki. One of the things that a lot of people do, they fish down here. A lot of people don't fish with big boats. Can't afford them for one thing. They're kind of outrageous. Plus, some of the best fishing you can do here in South Carolina is what we call skinny water. And small rivers, small creeks, back into salt flats and the inlet, the salt water and all. Well, I was looking for a little bit bigger motor for my boat. Y'all saw the video that I had done on my little Evinrude that I found. It worked great. It's perfect for the Little Pity River, which is where I used to live, pretty close to it, within a mile. Well, since my dad passed, I've taken over his property, which was originally my grandfather's property, which before that, this was farmland that my great-grandfather farmed. And even before Granddaddy built the house here, I farmed with my granddaddy here. So this place is kind of special to me. I certainly couldn't let it go anywhere. But the problem with that is I'm about 30 miles now away from the Little Pity River. And a little 2.5 is great for that river. It's not so great for the Great Pity River, which is very close to me now. So I was piddling around on Craigslist, I don't know, maybe a month ago, just looking around, and a lot of these little small 7.5s, 8s, 9.8s, they were kind of up there, $700, $800, $900, which, you know, hey, if you want to do motor and you got disposable money to throw at it, that's fine. That's fine. Spend your money on what you want. But that ain't my style. I've been accused of being cheap ass from time to time. But I got to think about it. I said, you know what? I have got family that lives in Harrisonburg, Virginia. So I'm going to look at the Craigslist in Virginia, Harrisonburg. The second ad I came across was two 1963 Elgin 7.5 horsepower motors. And you ain't going to believe the price on these bad boys. $150 and take them both to the house. I said, you got to be kidding me. I immediately got on the phone and texted my uncle, told him about it, sent him a link to the ad, and he said he wanted, you know, he went and looked at them, and he said, you want me to pick them up? I said, grab them. Yeah, grab them. The only risk that I had with that really is in South Carolina, you have to have a title and a registration on your outboard as well as your boat, separate. Virginia's not a titling state. South Carolina is, I think, only one of maybe 8, I think it is. But it was a little bit of a risk because if that motor had ever been titled anywhere and taxes were not paid on it, then I was going to spend $150 and go bust. Oh, gosh. Well, took a chance on it, and the fact that you could read the serial numbers on them, that was very important. I had to be able to do that to buy these motors. So I got one that I can read the serial number on real good, and one that can't do it so much. So I was thinking, well, parts motor, that's fine. So he got them. I took me a little road trip up there to see my family, spent the night, got back down here. I got 2 boat motors. Well, as of today, I've got one of them registered. The other one, you can't read like I said, you can't read the serial number on it real good. So I got one titled and registered and ready to go. Got a new fuel tank because my little Evinrude, it had a built-in fuel tank. The only thing I'm lacking here to try it out is a barrel to put it in. You cannot put muffs on these motors. They have to be submerged in water. And I honestly don't feel like putting it on the boat, dragging it down to the river, backing it up, taking up the landing, pissing other people off while I try a motor out. No, we ain't going to do that. So hopefully by the end of the day, I'm going to have a barrel over here, if I can ever get in touch with my brother, and we're going to give it a try. The story I got is one of them hadn't run in a long time, but probably can run. Supposedly the other one has run recently, like, you know, some months ago, but we don't know. I mean, you know, buying something from Craigslist is kind of a crapshoot anyway. You don't know if you're going to come out okay or not okay, or shoot, you don't know if you're going to get robbed on the way to it. But What we got is a 1963 Elgin 7.5 horsepower. This particular year range, they were made by McCullough chainsaws. But now one problem I've had is trying to figure out what ratio to run these. I can't find a definite answer on what the fuel oil ratio is going to be. So I'm playing it safe. I've got my tank pre-mixed to 16-to-1. I got 2 ounces of 2 ounces of seafoam in it, because you need seafoam, period, in a boat motor. I got 1 ounce of Stay-Bil in it, and the rest of the tank is filled up with ethanol-free gas. Never run ethanol in a boat motor, weed eater, chainsaw, small engine, period. They don't like them, and the carburetors get gummed up, and you're going to be rebuilding a bunch of carburetors if you run ethanol fuel, especially down here with the humidity. As you can see, I'm sweating hard. It is 100 degrees, and I think we got 74% humidity according to my little weather thing in there. South Kakalaki. Well, I'm going to pause this for a minute, and I'm going to show you this little motor, and hopefully by the end of the day I'm going to be videotaping doing some testing on this motor. I'll at you shortly. Okay, if y'all pardon my unsteady hand, here we go. The one on the left, I cannot get a title for because I cannot get the serial numbers off the plate, and the DNR here in South Carolina won't take the numbers if they're not on the plate, not even if you find them on the engine block. So the one on the left is going to be a part motor, the one on the right is going to be a running motor, and there's my little Johnson that I rebuilt, that I made videos on, and she still runs like a champ. But this motor is in surprisingly good shape, considering there's the props in real good shape. Everything looks good. All the bushings look good. The steering bushings and all that looks good. So some interesting points here. You have a telltale for your water pump right here and right here. Now this little doohickey is interesting. This motor has 2 water pumps. It's got one in the foot and it's got one somewhere right up in here. Well, if you need to bail your boat out, you plug a hose here, drape it over the back of the boat, idle your motor, and it's supposed to suck the water out your motor and spit it out the bottom. We're going to test that eventually when we get it running good. But like I said, the prop looks in real good shape. The foot, everything looks really good on this motor. This one you can tell has been beat around, but you know what? It's spare parts. It'll be fine. I don't care. Plus the hood on this motor is actually in dang near perfect shape, which is unheard of. They're real thin plastic, but before it's over with, I'm gonna use fiberglass cloth, and then I'm gonna use epoxy resin, and I'm gonna coat the entire inside of it just to stiffen it up some. Everything works good. Faceplate and all's in shape. It shifts gears. It shifts gears just fine. And I mean, it's in really good shape. I can't believe it's looking like it is. All your start, stop, your controls here are on here. You know, if you stop it, to stop it, you turn it back. That takes the spark advance all the way off. And you shift in here, start here, and then of course run there. Want to shut it down, you just turn that to shut it down. You got your choke. All the linkages are in place. Everything works and moves as it should, which is good. I'm very tickled with that. And the fact that the motor looks good. See if I can pop this hood with one hand. It's got 2 latches on it. There we go. Now, whoa, as I trip over everything in here and shake the camera around even worse. All right, everything under here looks good. I mean, considering the age, the plugs and all look good. I have not checked this thing for spark. I have not put a compression gauge on it. I have not done any of the sort. It's not locked up. Like I said, all your linkages are in place and in good shape. I am going to replace this little fuel filter he added. Just, you know, that's a cheap part. Might as well replace it with a fresh one. Everything looks as it should. I am hoping that I will fire this thing up and that she will run like a champ. And another thing is, I got a sack full of parts here. I got a bunch of parts in here. I've got linkages. I've got four brand new water pumps that are in really good shape. They're not dry rotted or anything. I've got a carburetor rebuild kit in there, all the gaskets and everything unopened. I've got 2 new recoil springs, should I need to replace those, and I hope I don't, because boy, they're not fun to fiddle with. I've got a ton of other little small parts and linkages. I've got replacement screws, what looks like brand new replacement screws for dang near everything on this motor. All in this little parts bag that he sent. I got 3 sets of new points, 2 new condensers, and I got several different type of fuel fittings for it. But what I'm going to stick with is what I know. I'm going to try the fuel connections that came with it, and we'll see if they leak or anything like that. Then I'm going to swap it out to the Evinrude type. I just have better luck with those. You know, Ford versus Chevy, I guess you could say, but I just like Evinrude. I really hate they went out of business, but you know, dinosaurs do that when they don't evolve. I hate that. But we got a little motor that's probably going to do me and my grandson really well for no more. I mean, I don't have to get on the water and run 60 miles an hour. I'm sorry. I don't care if your boat does run 60 miles an hour. You sure as hell can't catch any fish moving that fast. And I've also found out over my years of fishing, you don't have to go 100 miles away from the landing to catch fish. I can go right straight across from the landing where I plan on putting this in a good bit in the Big Pity River. I can go right straight across the landing to fill the boat up with catfish and bring them. So, you know, spend your money on what you want. But if you're going fishing, you don't need a Corvette. If you're just going riding and showing off and showing your neighbors that, hey, I can afford this, then hey, get a Corvette. Personally, I don't care to drive a Corvette to the grocery store. Well, I'm going to get back with y'all. Hopefully by the end of the day, we'll be doing a video of firing this thing up, and I can finish this video as soon as I get a chance to get down to the water. Talk at you later. Okay, y'all, here it goes. Brother came through with the barrel. Got it fueled up. I hadn't done anything. The only thing I did do is I pulled the plugs and shot a little crow oil in there and left the plugs out, cycled it some just to make sure I didn't have a hung ring or something like that. Plugged it up, got the fuel running to it. Everything seems to be okay. This is going to be the first pull for me. Let's see what she's going to do. We'll turn this to start. And here we go. Okay. Okay, that's good. Let's try to choke it a little bit here. Like a sieve with that, like an freight train with that 16-to-1 oil. I don't see any water flowing. I believe we're gonna have to do the water pumps on this one. Hey, I think I done pretty good with that. I got to put the water pumps in it. She's not pushing any water out. I ain't getting nothing out the piss holes. Other than that, I'm pretty impressed. I'm happy. I'm happy with it. Once we get the water pump running, and I'll probably do a video on putting the water pump in the next couple of days. We'll do that. Put it in the barrel again, fire it up, run it, make sure she pisses good, make sure she continues to shift good. I'm going to change the oil in the foot, and that's about it. I'm pretty happy with it. 1963 Elgin Sears and Roebuck's motor, and she still runs strong. And when I kicked her in gear, she tried to come off. She tried to come off of that little mount that I put on the side of that thing. So she's pretty strong to be a little 7.5. But when I get her on the boat, we get to running with it the first time. I'll pull up a GPS or something, and we'll see what she does. It ain't gonna be a speed demon. I mean, man, come on, this is a fishing motor. This ain't a show-off bass boat motor. People that got bass boats, y'all probably get hate mail for this. All y'all do is ride around. People with little motors, we know where to fish at. I'll catch you later.